The Winner's Justice 2025 edition.
Pirates are evil, the Navy is just. But that's only true because history tells us so. Children who've never known peace have different values than children who've never known war. The one who wins will rewrite the definition of right and wrong. They'll decide the future and how the past is written. Will justice prevail? Why, there's no other way! The winner will define the meaning of justice.
Is this our reality, or are we just stuck in a simulation where the most honest man on earth is a 10 feet tall pirate in a pink feather coat and sunglasses that literally never fall off? Let's be real. Doflamingo didn't just give a speech at Marineford. He dropped the final pass note for human civilization. He said, and I quote, "Pirates are evil, Marines are righteous. These terms have always changed throughout history. Whoever wins this war becomes justice." In 2025, that quote isn't just based, it's literal discrimination of my For You page. We're living in a world where justice is a brand name, owned by whoever has the best PR department and the most drones. The value gap. Doflamingo said, "Kids who have never seen peace and kids who have never seen war have different values." He was cooking there. Look at Ukraine versus Sudan right now. In Ukraine, the kids of peace saw people who looked like them, and suddenly justice was clear. But in Sudan, as of late 2025, Sudan has the fastest growing displacement crisis on the planet. Millions of people are essentially shadow banned from existence by the global media because their justice doesn't help the winners at top look like heroes. And then there's Gaza. We have watched absolute justice turn into a logic where a life of a child is a collateral but a piece of land is sacred. If you're a kid in Gaza, justice looks like a ceasefire, but if you're a billionaire in a bunk, justice looks like a stock increase. Doflamingo is laughing because he knows we only care about the justice that's convenient for our aesthetic. The redacted arc. If you want to see the real-life celestial dragons, just look at the Epstein Files. It's December 2025 and the Justice Department just released tens and thousands of images that are basically 90% of black ink. We literally watched photos of elite, including former presidents and prince of royal families, flicker on the DOJ website for 24 hours before vanishing with zero explanation. Those who stand at the top determine what's wrong and what's right. When the winners are the one doing the deducting, justice is just a wall they keep us from seeing the names on the flight logs. They aren't protecting victims, they are protecting the status quo. In our world, the celestial dragons don't wear bubbles on their head. They wear tailored suits and sign the checks for the people who write the laws. The label game. Doflamingo told us these labels are meaningless. In 2025, the terms terrorist and anti-state are the most effective weapons in the arsenal. Look at Islamophobia. That's been baked into our systems for decades. We've been conditioned to hear Muslim and think threat. This is a systematic glitch designed to make us okay with the destruction of entire populations. In Iran, young women are called anti-state terrorists just because for wanting to show their hair. And in Afghanistan, millions of people are being tossed back and forth across borders like they're not even human. While foreign powers treat the country like a chessboard they got bored of playing. Whether it's the shadow war between Israel or Iran and the proxy fights in the Middle East, justice is just a label we slap on a bomb to make it feel righteous. The stimulation of choice, why we are tired. But here's the most terrifying part of Flamingo's gospel. It's not just that the winners write the history. It's that they have convinced us to stop reading it. In late 2025, we are suffering from what I call justice fatigue. We have hit the 1,000-day mark in Sudan and the world has essentially hit the snooze button. We see representatives of Rokhanna and Thomas Messi filing inherent contempt charges against the Eternity General for deducting the Epstein Files, and it feels like just another Tuesday on the timeline. And this is how the system wins, not by force, but by exhaustion. They want us to look at the Operation Sword and Spear rebranding of War on Terror, which is basically just Islamophobia 2.0 with a new coat of paint, and just shrug. They want us to see the international stabilization force in Gaza and forget that the same people that funding the stabilization were the ones funding the destruction. Doflamingo calls this the neutral ground, but it's actually manufactured consensus. They want us to read two versions of the truth, both written by the same editors, and tell us to pick a side. But as long as we're picking their sides, we are still playing their game. We have become comfortable with the idea that some people are anti state and others are righteous because it saves us the intellectual labor of actually looking at the blood on the floor. The Whisper, which brings us to the only way out. Doflamingo said the winner becomes justice, and he's right. But as long as we let them define what winning looks like, we need to remind ourselves who the real villains are. They aren't just the ones in the pink coats or the one firing the missiles. They are the ones who own the ink, the ones who redact the flight logs, the one who profit from 1,000 days of silence in Sudan. We need to whisper it into each other's ears, even if it's censored, even if the algorithm tries to bury the video under piles of unboxing clips. The real win isn't a ceasefire or a treaty signed by a celestial dragon. The win is the refusal to be brainwashed. When you see a redacted file, whisper the names they hid. When you see a terrorist label, look for the human being underneath. When you see the world ignoring Gaza or Sudan, be the one who talks about them. Justice will prevail. But of course it will. Let's make it a justice that doesn't need a pink feather coat to hide behind. Let's make it ours. Is this our reality? Only if we stay silent.
Navy headquarters to Marineford, announcing the arrival of warlords Donquixote Doflamingo and Bartholomew Kuma.